It is essential to recognize that in this fast-paced, highly connected world, we are often taught that kindness is an innate virtue we should practice endlessly without restraint. But if we do so without wisdom, we risk losing ourselves in the process. The truth is, kindness, when misdirected, can be an act of self-sabotage. We often believe that giving will make us fulfilled, but in reality, indiscriminate kindness to everyone around us can deplete us emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Kindness should never be about pleasing others or fulfilling an expectation. It should be a reflection of our deepest values, a tool we wield with intention and discernment, not a currency to be spent without thought. There's a harsh but true reality in life. Not everyone deserves our kindness. This isn't about being cruel or unkind. It's about recognizing that not all people will appreciate your efforts. Not all relationships are worth fostering, and not all individuals are going to reciprocate what you give them. To believe that your kindness will always be met with gratitude or returned in kind is to set yourself up for frustration and burnout. Kindness, when stretched too thin, becomes a transactional gesture that no longer serves its intended purpose. You don't need to be kind to everyone because ultimately not everyone will treat your kindness as a gift. Sometimes they will take advantage of it, sometimes they will manipulate it, and sometimes they will walk away without a second thought. Think about it. There are people who take from you day after day, and yet when you need something, they aren't there for you. They may smile and nod, but behind their pleasant faces, there's no genuine respect for you or your time. They won't return the favor, and they won't see your value the way you see theirs. It's a sad reality, but a necessary one to face. Realizing this is not a defeatist attitude. It's simply the recognition that your emotional, intellectual, and physical energy is finite, and you must protect it if you wish to grow into the best version of yourself. We often forget that kindness is a tool, not an endless fountain. Just like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how and when it's used. Imagine trying to use a hammer for everything. It's the wrong tool for the job. Kindness can be the hammer in your life, but you need to wield it carefully. Use it when it truly matters. Use it where it has the potential to heal, to transform, to build. Use it for the people who value it, not those who take it for granted. If you pour yourself into relationships that drain you, you will eventually find that your well is dry. And when that happens, what will be left to give? The greatest kindness you can offer is to be discerning about where and to whom you give your time, your energy, and your care. In protecting your energy, you're not being selfish, rather you are being wise. You can't pour from an empty cup, and if you keep giving your kindness to everyone without regard for the impact it's having on your well-being, you will find yourself exhausted and unable to offer anything meaningful to the people who truly deserve it. So what is the solution? It's simple. Start saying no. Start protecting your time. Start setting boundaries that preserve your inner peace and, above all, your sense of purpose. Kindness at its core is an extension of who you are and what you stand for. When you give it to the right people in the right circumstances, it amplifies both your own growth and theirs. It is a force that can move mountains, but only when used with purpose, not out of obligation. Boundaries are not walls. They are lines that define who you are, what you value, and how you want to be treated. There is a profound strength in being able to set limits with others, to say no when necessary, and to protect yourself from relationships that do not nurture you. It is not a weakness to turn away from people who are not aligned with your values. It is an act of self-respect. By choosing to invest your energy where it is valued, you set an example of healthy living for others to follow. You teach people how to treat you by treating yourself with the dignity you deserve. We must also realize that our kindness has a purpose. It's not about getting recognition or praise. It's about being true to ourselves. Too often we expect kindness to be reciprocated in the same measure it was given, but this expectation only leads to disappointment. The moment we give kindness expecting something in return, we've lost the purity of our gesture. Kindness is not a barter, it is a free gift. However, that gift is not without limits. Kindness should be like a precious gem, not a commodity to be passed around carelessly. It's a gift that should be shared with those who see its value. You may be wondering, does this mean we should stop being kind altogether? Absolutely not. But it does mean we must be more intentional with our kindness. It means we need to be selective about who we give it to. It means we need to evaluate each relationship and each interaction with a discerning eye, considering whether it truly adds value to our lives or simply drains our resources. We live in a world where we are told we must be everything to everyone. We're taught that kindness is an unqualified virtue that should be practiced at all costs. But what happens when we give everything we have only to find ourselves empty? We must learn that the world does not expect us to be infinitely giving. It expects us to be wise, to understand that kindness has limits and that we must take care of ourselves first so that we can be the best version of ourselves for those who need it most. By being selective with our kindness, we allow ourselves to conserve the energy and resources required to make a real impact in the lives of those who matter. We allow ourselves to engage deeply, meaningfully, and with intention in the relationships that truly count. And ultimately, we create space in our lives for the kind of love, friendship, and connections that are mutually enriching, not draining. In the end, the truest kindness we can give is the one that stems from a place of self-respect, wisdom, and purpose. It's not about being kind to everyone. It's about being kind to those who deserve it and to ourselves, first and foremost. Only then can we truly give and receive in a way that brings lasting fulfillment and growth. Kindness, after all, is not about what we give. It's about how we give it, when we give it, and to whom. Protect your energy, protect your peace, and protect your purpose. Because when you do, you'll find that your kindness, when shared, will have a profound impact on those who need it most.